White House is calling for a, quote, summer of freedom as the president pushes to get as many Americans as possible vaccinated by July 4th.
It's not the summer of love.
Today, we're announcing a month-long effort to pull all the stops to free ourselves from this virus and get to 70% of adult Americans vaccinated. We're going to continue encouraging people to get vaccinated with incentives and fun rewards. The NBA, the NHL, NASCAR tracks, they're offering vaccines outside playoff games and at races. Major League Baseball will be offering free tickets to people who get vaccinated at the ballpark. And to top it off, Anheuser-Busch announced that beer is on them on July the 4th. That's right, get a shot and have a beer. The vaccine is free, it's safe, and it's effective. Getting the vaccine is not a partisan act. The science was done under Democratic and Republican administrations. Matter of fact, the first vaccines were authorized under a Republican president.
And right here, you could get a Morning Joe cookie made by TJ's wife.
Yeah,
Monica
made it.
Anyone here need one? Oh, you're all vaccinated, right? Yes. Everybody in the room vaccinated?
TJ had a lot of time this year to start a new business.
Yeah,
so he started that.
You do have to diversify.
Yeah, it's nice.
I love them, though. They're so pretty. Thank you, Monica.
That was beautiful.
That's cool. Have a beer, get a vax.
Really little now. Story behind the story there on that speech. John Meacham's first draft said "Summer of Love," and so Meacham thought he was obviously born late for 1967, but Joe changed that to "Summer of Freedom," and it certainly is if people choose it.
I've noticed "Soul of America" has been popping up as a term in a lot of Joe Biden speeches lately.
Yes.
I feel the hand of Meacham in those words. I mean, the numbers, we're going to cross 70% if things continue to trend in the direction that they're going. 16 million additional adults will have to get their first shot by July 4th to hit that 70% threshold. But if you go back to listening to Dr. Fauci and others, and that herd immunity number they talked about was always in the 70-75% range. So the truth is, for all the consternation we've had, we're doing really well at this, and we can cross that threshold on July the 4th with some of these incentives.
It's an important national deadline, but Richard Haas, of course, the big issue is getting the world vaccinated, or we could see a repeat or a resurgent or some strain coming back to haunt us.
It will happen. Let's be honest. You got 8 billion people out there. We're not even close. In many countries, not even the healthcare workers have been vaccinated. You have the variants appearing in places like India. They do. Nothing stays local. Sooner or later, it circulates. There's only a couple of ways to do it. We've either got to produce and export much more from here. I think we're making a mistake by not doing it. Or we've got to build capacity around the world so other countries can produce vaccines.
It's a way we can, Susan Del Percio, lead and show America's strength and preeminence again, I think, by making sure that we're pushing it out there.
Yeah, and it also helps get rid of the past 4 years where it was America first, America only. And now we can change that dynamic and our reputation around the world again, or restore it, I should say, to that we are leading. We are providing the vaccinations. We are a global leader. Not that we weren't, but we certainly weren't acting like one. And I think that's what's so critical, especially when it comes to some of the supply chain issues and getting to continents like Africa. It's going to be a huge undertaking. And there was a point where Russia and China were really trying to fill the void of the United States.
We're still at that point.
Yeah, we're still at that point. And that's concerning, I think, internationally. So I hope very soon those AstraZeneca vaccinations will be out there and we move forward in our position.
Well, and Scott Gottlieb was saying yesterday that we're going to have enough vaccines for the world, that we're producing them quickly. I also heard yesterday Joe Biden say something we've been talking about for a couple of weeks here, which is, hey, Republicans, you have a reason to embrace this. It was a Republican administration that made the right bets, did the things right that the EU did wrong.
There's a place to go.
There's a reason why. And so I think it's great that the White House is saying, your guy, Donald Trump, and the administration made some really smart bets. And they did. They did a lot of things wrong. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody take a deep breath. Get a bag.
Farmer guy.
Breathe into it.
Yep.
It's going to be okay. You're not going to pass out.
Website.
You're not going to pass out, okay? It's going to be all right. He made some really good choices The EU did not. And that's why Joe Biden was in a position, and he was great with logistics, to do things that Donald Trump couldn't do. This is something we can celebrate. This is something that we can embrace. Republicans have a reason to get a shot for their man. If that's how they think, I personally do it for the health of my family. But if people are that screwed up that they have to identify with a politician for their health care choices.
I wouldn't call him a politician. But okay.
So,
cult leader.
My God.
Okay.
Please, Your Honor.
All right.
God, Alex, can you please?
We all know it's true.
Oh my God. Oh, I want to be home.
You want to with me?
There's no place like home.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the past year.
You don't feel the need to just have this
blurt.
Oh my God.
Oh, we've switched roles again.
There's a reason that we can all be proud as Americans and embrace this vaccine.
There is, Joe, and here's what I'm just so surprised about from the day Joe Biden was inaugurated going forward, is how this didn't become a national patriotic mission. Yeah. For our country. Like, the fact that the Republicans fought the COVID relief package the way they did, besides being a terrible political mistake, it was just simply not patriotic. That's our duty to each other. We're sitting around this table because, in fact, of Operation Warp Speed.
Right.
And because the distribution happened.
Right.
But why Americans aren't willing to really embrace it and celebrate what we've done, even if you want to look at how poorly other nations did and say, we're number one. I don't know what it has to be to get that message out, but it should be something that is uniting us.
Yeah, the British are able to do that. I mean, Boris Johnson said, go out and get that. You don't see the resistance from the far right in Britain.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain percentage in this country, Eddie, that's just not going to get the shot. We know that. They've told us that. But again, to put the frame a little bit differently on this, we're doing really well. We're going to cross 70% by the 4th of July. That number will tick up as we go through. And the truth of the matter is it was a foundation built by Operation Warp Speed. Then, pharmaceutical companies, doctors, scientists, the Biden administration getting the distribution out there. It is something it's okay to celebrate something once in a while.
Yeah.
We view everything through this frame of cynicism and pessimism, but too many people died. That's true. A lot of people who shouldn't have died did die. But now we've come together as a country to vaccinate ourselves and get life ticked back to normal.
Yeah, it's okay to celebrate something without having to read it through the lens of Republicans and Democrats, right? Without having to over-determine it by the hyper-partisanship that defines our country, without having to own the libs, without having to virtue signal, but rather, right, the fact that our mothers, our fathers, our aunts, our uncles, our cousins, our nephews, that we're getting to a place where we can be safe, where we can imagine what normality might be as we try to figure out how to live with the reality of COVID-19.
And I saw a quote from Donald Trump somewhere a couple days ago saying, I'm proud of the vaccine. People should go out and get the vaccine.
You should be proud. And what they did with Warp Speed was actually quite risky, to accelerate, to telescope the entire process, to basically make a bet on mass production of vaccines before it was proven was a gutsy choice. If it hadn't worked out, there would have been a lot of criticism. One other thing we're seeing, which is to me really interesting, a lot of the countries in Europe and Asia that did really well early on, including the Australias, the Germanys and all that, what happened? Despite everything they did, the masking, the social distancing, all the responsible behavior, without vaccine, they're now seeing the virus really ramp up. So what this tells me is vaccines are an essential tool, and we were ahead on that. Brits have caught up because of vaccines. You can only go so far with all the other approaches. You need vaccines.
Well, we tried all the other approaches, and you saw a lot of them. Some states doing very well early on. You saw, oh, that's fantastic. And then you would see younger Americans go out because there was less of a risk, and you'd see that huge clump. And then you'd see these states that were doing better 3, 4, 5 weeks later start to go down because you're going to have younger Americans in this situation go out. They pick up the virus, they are asymptomatic, they pass it to their families, and it spreads around like that.